manipulate his body or do something differently in the future. But I will tell you, Greeny, after this all ended, after that game ended and they came back to the hotel, I saw Bucks players go to the restaurant that's over the bridge to have a team meeting because...
And I understand their frustration, and the reality is this is a team that was the best all season long, and here they are in a 2-0 hole against a really good team. What is their mindset now going into a critical Game 3?
Well, when they were speaking post-game, all of the guys were very clipped in their answers. They were very short in what they said. They were obviously disappointed. And they kept saying, well, you just have to move on to Game 3. You just have to move on to Game 3. We just have to go out and get the next one. So that is their mindset. I believe that. This is a group of professionals that just wants to move on to the next. But this one's going to be a little harder than most to set aside. And also, the Bucks...
Drama last night. And let me bring my basketball crew back in here for more conversation. Do I have Coach Fizz back with me this morning? I do. And there's Richard Jefferson getting a little coffee here because he's the superstar of the day. And I'm going to bring some muscle into this conversation in a minute because I'm feeling emboldened, Coach Fizz, by the most recent conversation. Before we get to Richard's tweet, I'm just going to say it. I didn't say it quite this strongly when I had you on earlier this morning. I hate both calls. I hate the call, Coach Fizz. I hate the call on the first one, and I hate the call at the end that it decides the game in a playoff game. What do you think?
Oh, I totally agree, Greeny. I hate both calls. I think it should have been no calls on each call. Let the players figure that out. But the calls were made. But at the end of the day, I totally agree. Right there, Goran Dragic is in perfect position. Hands up. He even looks away a little bit so that he doesn't even keep his momentum going forward. I hate that call right there. It's tough to guard shooters as it is. And now you get that call to really impact the game. And then Giannis's call, obviously, is a tough call to end the game with no time on the clock, you know, after fighting back. That's really tough to swallow.
It's brutal. Richard, I'm going to take it a step farther. As we were sitting and watching that play.
Greeny.
Go ahead.
Yes. Greeny, really quickly. One thing that you always ask players, thanks, Fizz. One thing that you always ask players is, would you want that call? If that was Goran Dragic shooting that shot and it was Middleton that close, Goran Dragic would lose his brain about that call. If that was Giannis shooting that fadeaway and it was Jimmy Butler getting that close to him, Giannis would lose his brain. That's why those calls will stand and stay. I don't like them. No one likes them. None of the players like them. But one thing that we can all agree on is if that was Goran Dragic shooting it, and if that was Chris Middleton, Goran Dragic would want that call. So you can't complain about something you would want, but not want against you.
Here's something else
we can all agree on.